Do you want to build a strategy bot that takes into consideration data outside of TradingView, but you don't know anything about coding? Then stay tuned for today's blueprint. Welcome to Blueprint for April 24th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Hartman, Marketing Manager for TradersPost, alongside Peter Hartman, also part of the marketing team. Today, we'll be attempting to vibe code a trading bot in Python to do just that. Peter, people often want to create a strategy. I often want to create a strategy in TradingView, and I go, hey, what if I wanted to take into consideration like social media posts or external data or reports or anything like that, or my email account, whatever it is. I want to be able to backtest that information and then like backtest it and then forward test it and have that running. And I've always been annoyed that I can't incorporate external data within TradingView. Actually, there used to be a feature in TradingView called request.seed that allowed you to stand up your own information, your end-of-day information on GitHub and refer to it in order to create your bots. In fact, to such a point where other people could refer to that data right within TradingView. But then they put the kibosh on that. Not exactly sure why. Maybe it was too much difficulty or security risk or whatever it was. But it was, for a few short months, there was a gleam of hope that we could have external data, all kinds of external data within the system. Turns out that's not the case. I'm not the kind of guy who's ever, I don't write enterprise grade software. I don't code all these different things. I'm not a Python developer or anything like that. I don't even like it, frankly. I don't like doing it. But now in the age of AI, I could just talk to the system and it might be able to code this. So I figured, hey, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can actually stand up a backtesting solution and then forward test this sort of thing.
You can just do things. That's the thing now on X from all the AI people. You can just do things.
I was telling my last night with my stepson, he's learning how to code in Roblox, and he's coding in Roblox, he's using the interface, and he's using the Roblox, it's a video game, AI that helps with the coding. And I go, this is all great and all, and he's learning all the different classes and variable names and setup and structures and for loops and conditions and all that sort of thing, which is great. But I said, hey, buddy, like in the near future, this is not what it's going to be. He's like, what do you mean? So I showed him how Doom, people have created a video game Doom that's running purely with the LM. There's not even any coding back end. What it's doing is that the AI is generating an image for every frame of the Doom video game. So when you move, it just generates a new thing, like Midjourney on crack. And so you're playing this game and there's no code in back end. The whole world's not built. It's just what you're seeing and it's inferring where you should be next. He was like, oh my God. And so we were up to like 2 o'clock in the morning, vibe coding a flight simulator.
Wow.
And on the computer. He was like, this is just amazing, just talking to it and going back and forth.
But it is good to learn the logic of code.
It is.
Like it teaches you how to think.
Right. But if you just want to get something going and start an idea,
Yeah, but we're not going to be doing away with coding in the next, 5, 10 years, I don't think.
Well, that's like saying, um, right now, if you wanted to start a TV channel, a content channel, well, you just have to use your phone, YouTube platform, connect the things together, and you're streaming. So yeah, people still need to know how to code in order to set up these structures so that you're able to participate in it. But the plug and play stuff, the stuff that can be done easily just by drag and drop, point and click, that sort of thing, well, you don't need code for that. In the same way that you have a graphical user interface on your computer, you're not typing in DOS in order to access your files. There's a way of going about it that it's all that it's all pre-done. And so now there's a bunch of things you could do with AI development that gets you 80% of the way there, which might be more than good enough if you're not trying to do some SaaS product to sell to other people.
Oh, trust me, I know. I coded an app, and just this morning I submitted my application to Google, Facebook, and X because they're looking for coders, programmers, and that's what I am now. I am now officially a programmer. All right. No, I get what you're saying. I think there's this tension right now, at least what I'm seeing. There's a camp that says you should still learn to code. It's very important. We're not doing away with that. Coders who can code will be better able to direct the AIs. And then there's other people going, if you're in school or you're some kid heading to school now to learn this stuff, forget it. I mean, there's really no point. Go do some other things, learn some other skills. You don't need to learn how to do that. I don't know. I mean, pilots don't fly planes anymore, right?
That's right. Exactly.
They do
Well,
takeoffs.
the idea here is that if you're doing a solution for yourself, right? And whether you're writing in the Pine script yourself or writing the strategy yourself, like you have an idea of what you're expecting to see on the chart when the signal's supposed to enter and exit and fire
Right.
and send the signal off. So if that's happening the way it needs to, great. What do you care if it's written in what language it's written in or how well it's done? Is it actually doing it? And then you can just rely on that.
I don't know if I should say this now or not. You got
Sure.
something?
No, go
I
ahead.
was checking out this platform. For my testing, it's not really for me just yet, I don't think, but it's called Eddy.ai. It's a video editor, but you chat to it like you would ChatGPT. So it ingests your footage, and then you ask it like, oh, pull out sections that are exciting, or edit this clip like this, and you chat with it, and then it provides you with the video that's edited. So I can see, DaVinci Resolve just came out with DaVinci Resolve 20. Excellent, one of the best release they've had so far. Actually, it's in beta right now. You can do all kinds of things with it, but I think we're about 5 years away from most people not needing to know how to edit a video. You just chat
That's
with
right.
it. I want it to be like this. Here's a video I want you to copy the style, add a little flavor, turn up the chaos, some randomness, and then you got something uniquely yours. And will it be good that you know how to video edit? As a video editor, and I've been a video editor, for 20 years, I don't know. I actually don't think most people are going to need to know anything about video editing. They're just going to have to know what they like seeing, what they like watching. So maybe coding will go that way. It's a little scary, but I'm excited.
Well, we'll see. Well, myself, I've been upgraded with some of these AI skills, and I figure let's go ahead and try this out. Now, there's no guarantee. I should just make sure that it's painfully clear that this is a quick reminder that these scripts and walkthroughs or anything like that are for educational purposes only and entertainment purposes to showcase what could be done with the awesome power of automation and code and AI. We make no promises about the performance or testing or anything like that. So if you can put real capital behind whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm sharing, or whatever you do, that's on you. That's on you. All right. In fact, I'll guarantee that you lose money. So let's just put that at the beginning, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Are we using Cursor or anything like that today?
Absolutely. We're going to be using Cursor AI for some development. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. It may or may not work. So let's just get to it. So we're going to be starting out with our Cursor development environment over here. Let's go ahead and switch that screen.
Right. I'm just thinking about our conversation, not realizing I got to produce this thing. All right, let's go to desktop 1.
And let's just go ahead. Actually, let's create a new window, and we'll create a new project in TradersPost products. All right, we'll call this one blueprint backtest.
I love it when you use cursor, by the way.
All right, so a couple of things here. When you're speaking with an AI system, especially when you're building out like a project that's more than like 1 or 2 files, it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to make it clear to the AI what it needs to do, when it needs to do it. You end up in these loops sometimes when you're repeating the same thing again and again and again. So just to show you, there is this, I thought there was this great Twitter post from OX Designer on X that talks about this prompt that he provides to Cursor in order to make sure that it's compartmentalized in 2 things: the planning of the project and then the execution of the project. So one's the planner, one's the executor. Whenever you're talking to the AI, you can call on one of these 2 roles. And then it knows that in the planning phase, I'm just verifying stuff. I'm checking to make sure that, hey, things have been done. I'm updating a scratchpad to make sure that our tasks are completed. I have the whole task list already prepared and it's going through that. It's managing the thing and it's planning the thing. And then you have the executor that is actually executing any code, doing any of the agentic work, looking at information, that sort of thing that it needs to get done. And the executor is not planning, and the planning doesn't execute. So in here, there is a rule set that they provide. I'll actually tweet this out later. And it's these instructions. So I'm going to copy these instructions here. And I am going to post them as cursor rules. So inside of my cursor settings, Control-Shift-P, cursor settings under rules. I'm not going to make these rules global for the entire project. I'll make here in the project rules just for this project. Add new rule, and call it custom rules. Remove all this content and paste it in. I'm going to make sure that my rule type is always on. So this will be attached to the system prompt that is being sent to the LMs before it does anything, so that it knows, oh, it's always reminded how it needs to proceed. And with this done, I save it. It's an MVC file that's created there, and we're good to go.
How did you get to cursor? How did you get to cursor settings?
Command-Shift-P.
Command-Shift-P.
Cursor settings.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Cursor settings. Cursor settings, and then rules.
Awesome. Thanks.
Now, in that post, it does recommend going through for different planning or execution to use different models. It'll say, hey, you might want to use a thinking model like Claude Sonnet or whatever when you're doing more elaborate thinking in order, so that there's more context in the memory for it. The thing is, you're paying for this directly. It doesn't go underneath your Cursor subscription because you're accessing the model directly. You're providing your own API key, and it can take longer and stuff like that. So we're just going to use the basic version of Cursor. I think it's Cursor Pro that we're using right now. All right, so I think I have a prompt already for what I want this to be like. Let's take a look. Moment. We're going to be doing a lot of back and forth here today, folks. Just be prepared. All right, so my prompt here is I want to create a simple backtesting tool in Python that allows me to test a moving average strategy with take profits and stop losses and different order types, market limit, stop limit. I want to visualize the trades with the TradingView charting library, and I want to access historical data using Polygon.io. In the end, I'm looking to have a clean and professional interface where I can see my trades on the chart next to a list of all the trades and an overall performance view of the strategy as a whole. So just 2 things to mention there. The TradingView charting library is not the same thing as the TradingView.com, like the actual application. What it is that they have basically an open source version of their software that allows you to use their charting data, their charting system, to put any data you want. It's not the full-fledged experience. You don't have watch lists. You don't have PineScript. You don't have the real-time data. You don't have any of that stuff. It's just literally the canvas so that you can go ahead and put your own data in. But because it's open source on GitHub, it's easy to pass this to or refer to it in Cursor so that it can then go ahead and knows how to create a charting system. Otherwise, it would have to use another charting software, some sort of plotting software in order to plot graphs and charts and stuff like that. Why do that when we have this out of the box?
Can you put all these links in the comment section after the
Absolutely.
video? All
Absolutely.
right.
The next thing we're going to be using, we want to be able to access historical data for charts, right? Like I just said, this charting library doesn't give you access to real-time data. So we're going to be using Polygon.io, and Polygon.io, under the pricing, you'll see that you can access historical data for stocks, options, indices, currencies, and futures. And so you have to pay for them specifically for the data that you're looking for. And we're going to be using the stock starter plan here at $30 a month, which gives us access to all the US stock tickers, unlimited API calls, and up to 5 years of historical data. So if I want more than that, I won't get it. I do get intraday information, but the current day is limited to a 15-minute delay for data. So if I wanted actually real-time data and I wanted to run this live when I'm like finished and all done with, depending on my strategy, I might have to use the $200 a month real-time data instead for the stocks advance. Keep in mind also that it's per asset type. So if I wanted to run a strategy that was considering both the stocks and options, then I would need to also purchase a subscription for options as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So once you do that, you get access to an API key that you can use, which is just your key to use the platform, that you can then plug into when Cursor asks you for it. It'll then, you put in your API key, and now it's able to pull in real-time data. So those are the two components. And we're using Python. Originally, I was using a JavaScript version. It was using the React framework in order to set this stuff up. Python is way better for crunching information, as explained to me by Mike Christensen, CSO of TradersPost. So I'm not going to gainsay him. He's way better at this than I am. And even though React is better at visualizing stuff, but we're not trying to make an app here that works for everyone. We're just trying to get something that works out the door. And so let's go ahead and send this. In Cursor, we're going to make sure that we're on agent. That's usually the default. Agent is the thing that the request type that allows the script to do things. Create files, delete files, move things around, run terminal commands, all that sort of thing. It can do stuff. Whereas if you use ask, it's just querying your code base. It's not actually doing anything.
Yeah, but when you use ask and it tells you what can be done, you can do apply code, right?
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think so.
It'll, like, if you ask it, hey, I want you to change this or do that, it'll say, well, this is the code that's necessary to do it, and then you click on apply code.
Then you apply. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's go ahead here and send. And what it's going to be doing now is preparing this scratchpad.md, which is the plan for the project. All right, so it's creating this plan for the project. We can see it over here. And it's breaking it down. It gives us data management. It says, hey, this is what the phase 1 of the project. We're going to set up the Python structure. We're going to implement basic strategy framework. We're going to set up the TradingView integration. We're going to add comprehensive testing, and then that'll be it. And it has all these different criteria it's going to check itself against to make sure that we're set up where we need to be. So over here, I'm going to accept this, and it's been set up. Now I want to go ahead and ask the planner, okay, what do I have to do for the first step? So I'm going to say invoke planner. And what is the first task? So it's going to go through the scratch pad, because the system prompt that we put the rules at the beginning is telling it, hey, go check and go update it when you need to, remove things that you need to, but it's going to plan what it needs to do right now. So right now it's going to be setting up these folders: data, strategy, backtest, visualization, and utils. And it's going to create these, it wants to create these folders. Now, since it's the planner, it's telling me, hey, this is what I want to do. Would you like me to proceed with the implementation of this task as the executor? Now we can say, yes, go ahead. So I'm going to accept this all and say, yes, go ahead and do that. And now the executor is going to take over, and it's going to start making the different directories, creating the different files here that we're seeing on the right. Can I make this code bigger? Yeah, I can make this a little bigger.
Hey, just so you know, Tom, I can tell how excited you are because you're like quasi yelling, so you can tone it down a bit. I think
There's a lawnmower outside too, so that's like
we
I'm
can't
not
hear it.
competing with other people's notes.
Yeah, we can't hear it. But just so you know, you know.
Well, I'm not going to stop screaming, so I'm just going to turn down my volume just a smidge, just a little tiny smidge, and you can let me know if this is any better. Welcome to WNYX, your home for the hits in New York City. Okay,
No, I wouldn't turn down I can turn down your volume, Tom. I don't want it to be too low. It just
okay, I'll put it back up.
yelling.
All right, so it's going over here. It's doing the magic. It's doing the vibe coding. This is what it's like, folks. This is what it feels like to be vibe coding. You have PhD and some undergraduate workers going about doing what it needs to do. One of the fun things in the new version of Cursor is that this terminal thing that's happening, where it has to do like some terminal commands, it's actually doing in the chat here. Before, you'd have to go and copy and paste it constantly into the terminal and do it yourself.
Right.
And then it can read the error messages. You have to send it back. But now it's seeing all the different things and you could figure out what it needs to do along the way. All right, so that's what it says here. It says the first task is not complete. Would you like me to proceed with implementing the Polygon.io data fetcher as a next task? This would involve creating the data fetching interface and implementing historical data retrieval functionality. So I'm going to go ahead and accept all the changes I made so far and say, yes, I want to go ahead with the next task. Look, Ma, no hands.
It's wild. It's crazy what you can do. It's a lot of fun. Hey, Tom, while this is loading, I have a question. If people in the audience, they want to do, maybe we do a Zoom call live on the air where you kind of walk people through and show people how to do stuff. Would you be willing to do that on a Blueprint episode?
Probably not, because what happens is that I spend quite a bit of time beforehand practicing all these things just to know it. I'm new to all this too, so I just go by what
No,
people
I
are
know,
asking me.
but just no, and I don't mean like some deep dive into it. I mean
Oh,
just like, hey, I want to create a calculator app and then show basically how to use the interface. Because I think, look, there are people like you and I, all we have to do is see that this is possible, and you're like, I got it. I'm gonna study, I'm gonna head out there. But I know, and you probably know this, there are a lot of people where if they have to start completely on their own, they may not go ahead and do it. But if somebody's like, oh, I'll just show you a little bit how to get started, then maybe like you specifically and hold their hand a little bit, then they might find it more exciting.
I'm not likely to do that. One, because there's no time. You see what it's like. There's just no time. So I wouldn't want to commit to something like that. But if someone wanted to do something like this specifically for TradersPost and integration with our software, what have you, then I might be interested in doing something I've been pitching to John, CEO, is do vibe coding sessions at night on Discord. You
Hmm.
just come in and hang out. Hey, Tom, interested in doing this,
Hey.
but it would have to be TradersPost related.
Right, right. Okay, well, let us know. Write it in the comments down below. Look, I'm looking out for you folks. All right. I know what it's like. I'm not like this guy. I know what it's like to be kind of like a dummy and you don't really know how to get started. And you really want to, but it'd be good if somebody could just help you just a little bit. So I'm speaking for those people out there. All right. What we
All
got?
right, so it says that it's done with implemented Polygon.io. I know I'm going to need to provide my API key first. When do I provide my Polygon API key? I'm just asking now because I know it'll come up later on, but maybe.
So you asked that in agent mode, not in ASK mode.
Correct. So here it's saying, hey, you're going to need an environment variable. This is a variable, a hidden protected variable that usually has your sensitive information inside of it, so that it can then refer to that sensitive information later on without actually have to always copy and paste your API key, your password, basically everywhere. So here it says it needs to create that file. So let's go ahead and accept that. And now on the right, I can see there's an environment file, and it's asking for my Polygon key here. I'm just going to use one here. It's fine. You guys can. Oh, you know what? Hide my screen for a second because I just realized I was going to just burn my API key. It's like, oh, I don't mind it with people watching this video later on and taking it because I'll just destroy the key. But during the stream, people might just blow up my might use it. So let's just go ahead and hide that for a second. I'm going to grab my key.
Have you talked about YOLO mode?
No, I just discovered that today, YOLO mode.
But isn't that what you told me? Like to let it do to automatically do everything when you
No,
use the
I didn't
ancient.
think it was possible in Cursor. I just found out today that you can just have it automatically complete and continue all the way through.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and switch back to here.
We're safe?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So the environment variables has been set up. It did all the get and ignore to make sure that it's protected from being shared publicly to some degree. I'm sure it might just pop up over here, but hey, we'll just let bygones be bygones with that. And let's go ahead and continue with the next step. So I'm going to say invoke planner. What is the next task? So it's going through the scratchpad, it's updating the steps, and now it says, would you like me to proceed with strategy base class, move-in average strategy, position management? Would you like me to proceed with implementing this task as executor? Yes. Wait, let me accept the changes, and then yes. All right, now it's going to continue. We should get to the point soon where we're going to be able to see the front-end version of whatever we have so far.
I mean, just look at that. This is crazy.
Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? Now, the only time I ever saw something like this is when I would load a virus when I was a kid on a video game, and I'd just be deleting my whole computer. And I'm like, oh my God, it's doing great. And all it's doing is removing file for every computer, every file on my computer. At the end, I would see that skull in Independence Day.
Did you try to do vibe coding or anything, AI coding, like 2 generations ago?
Since the beginning.
I mean, if you could show me this a year ago, my mind would be completely blown.
6 months ago, it was different.
Just...
Oh, one thing I didn't show here, folks. We're not going to do this here, but you definitely want, especially in your own project, you're going to have times where you got to a version on milestone of, okay, got this feature working the way I want to, and you want to be able to save that and be able to roll back to it if you need to in the future. Because you can sort of roll back over here, but it's not as good as, like, you have a checkpoint system in here where you can always go back to a previous one and then click on restore checkpoint, and then it should restore the state of the files back then. But let's say, 3 days from now, 4 days from now, you want to go back to an earlier version or start from an earlier milestone. You're going to want to set up a GitHub, your GitHub repo. And so, well, I'm not going to show it here.
I did that. Actually, you can ask in Cursor about that, or ChatGPT. Yeah.
Well, it'll just ask you, okay, you create a private repo, you give the URL for the repo, and you say, hey, go ahead and update update the repo with the changes, and it'll update the files and create the commit messages and summarize everything that was done and save it properly and the whole thing. And if you want to roll back, you just do it this way. You don't even have to learn all the Git commands, even though I could hear programmers like cringing right now. Just learn the 9 commands. What's so difficult about that? Excuse me. That's like people go, oh, just open up the back of your TV and try to fix it. No, make the TV so I never have to open it.
I'm actually going to be opening the back of my TV. It's good to learn how to fix things, yourself.
All right, so I created a comprehensive test suite for the moving average strategy. Test file includes sample data generation. God, I hate when it gives me sample data. I don't want sample data. Thank you very much. I want real data, but fine. Filter test, position management, blah, 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 blah. Would you like me to add any additional tests or modify the existing ones? No, but what is required for me to see the working version right now? All right, it's checking to make sure all the environment variables are there. Now, what I always find funny about this is every time I start the project again, it makes a completely different thing. So let's see what it says. You can run the test with strategy, create a simple price data. Okay, so accept all that. So run the server.
So when you're like working until 2 in the morning, I'm sending you messages and you're not answering, this is what you're doing?
Absolutely. Sometimes I'm making dinner. for the family, and I'm just running over here doing the thing, running over there.
No.
While it loads, run over there, come back when it loads. And I was using this thing called Super Whisper in order to talk, so that it could transcribe within the cursor input. But for some reason, Super Whisper's not working on my computer anymore. All right, so let's run the server. Let's accept. Okay, this is what I love. You try to run the server, it sees as an error. It goes, I have an error. Let me just go ahead and fix it. And the little computer gremlins go ahead and do what needs to be done. Let's see if it even stands it up. If it doesn't work, we'll just switch to a different version where I've already been working on. So just to show, while this is going, this is the version I have. This other version I was working on. So Stashboard, I'm able to get the, this is the charting library from TradingView that we talked about. It's a moving average strategy, and it's then generating the scores for that over the time frame that was actually specified, and then it's generating the equity curve because of it, and then listing out the history of trades. There's history of trades down here.
Did you have to decide the layout and the design?
It did an initial one. This one is actually out of the box is way better, whereas the one I did before this one, hot trash, and I had to start again from the beginning. All right, let's go back to what it's saying. It's still trying to figure it out.
If anybody's out there, you're looking to maybe get started with this, I recommend, don't start with your big idea. Start with a very small idea, like the smallest idea you can think of, like a calculator app or a snake game, or, just something simple, just so you can get your mind around using the application.
Peter, I created out of the box without even knowing it. I would have known if I created a cryptocurrency, what would the inflation dynamics need to be, the issuance, number of nodes, the whole thing. And I said, visualize it inside of an animation so I can see all the different flow of the tokens and be able to adjust the different parameters. And then I had this 3D graph that was showing me the movement of the tokens and generation from the nodes, and what parameters would actually crash your system and what would actually cause it to deflate all the way down to nothing. Don't tell these people to have small-minded ideas, Peter, just because you have a small mind. Just
I didn't
cook.
I didn't know. I didn't say anybody should have any small-minded ideas. That's not what I said. I said to get started, right? Just to learn the application and learn what's going on. You can start with something small. Cryptocurrency. Oh yeah, everybody. If that's your idea, definitely don't listen to Tom. All right.
All right. Let me see here. Why are you running Bitcoin? What I want is an interface for viewing the chart data and trades. We just stop whatever it's doing because I don't want it to do that, and send that over. It was loading up a fast API service like that. It only wanted to run within the terminal. I was like, no, excuse me. We need front end visuals for this sort of thing. Why are you doing technical indicators? I understand now. Once, Peter, the other day, the AI told me, no, I'm wrong.
You were wrong?
You actually, yeah. It said no, because it always says, yes, you're totally right. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, I'm so sorry for helping. And this one, it said, no, you asked me, and then it quoted the thing to do this. Well, you just asked, it's not that. I go, okay. I said it wrong. It didn't even sugarcoat it. It just said no, period.
That's what I want. That's what I want from my AI. I don't need it to be sycophantic and yes, man. I need it to be put me in my place if need be.
Honestly, it felt a little romantic. Okay, trying to run Plotly over here. So it's ignoring the fact that we want the TradingView charting software. So let's see what it does here. All right, where are you running? Did you load us at the server? No.
When I was starting with Cursor, I was like, it didn't really sink in that it's creating files on your computer.
Yes.
Like that list on the right side are files on your computer. And I opened up the folder, and I would watch it as it's working, and then the files would appear on my computer. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't I put 2 and 2 together? Of course, files need to be on my computer in order for this to work.
You sound so old, Grandpa. So old.
It's
All
so
right, here we go.
stupid.
There's some results are appearing here, but it's not at all what I wanted. So this is what I'm having right now. What I'm seeing right now. Oh, 1 second. So this, my friend, is Plotly. It's actually pulling the information, and this looks like sample information because no chart moves like this. So I'm actually very upset now because this is not what I wanted. Okay, this is not what I wanted. This isn't what I wanted at all! Exclamation point. I want a TradingView what was it? TradingView Lightweight. Lightweight charts integration. Like we initially discussed. Invoke planner. All right, let's see here. So what is it doing? It's changing.
So the red that you're seeing here, if I understand correctly, are things that were removed, and the green are things that were added. It's not indicating error.
But it's removing Polygon.io over here. So and it says I want real-time chart updates. So I'm wondering if it's confused.
Sometimes I find, Tom, if you go into ask mode and you just start asking it questions like, what are you experiencing? What's going on? It solves the problem better than just using agent. But I don't want to tell you how to do your job.
Good. Why are you removing the Polygon.io integration? That's how we will add the chart data to the TradingView chart library.
I recommend you asking that
Absolutely
question.
right. I apologize for the confusion. One more time.
You should ask that in ask, and then you'll have a better understanding. Because when you do agent, it changes things. It does things. But if you say ask,
when I invoke planner, it won't change anything except the Scratchpad documentation, and I could always just reject all these changes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's the whole point of separating in those 2 ways. All right, I apologize for confusion. The Polygon.io integration is crucial for providing blah, blah, blah. Let me revise the plan. Fetch historical data, blah, blah, blah. Would you like me to proceed with implementing a revised approach? We can start with either setting up the Polygon integration for data fetching, create the basic web infrastructure. What would you prefer to focus on first? So let's just go ahead and switch this to, well, let's go ahead here. So I want you to do them all as Executor so that at the end I have a interface I can see in my browser. Invoke. Oh, did I say that? Yeah. Let's go ahead and accept. All right, buddy. This is your last chance before I switch to the other thing.
What are you going to switch to?
Just a version I was using before. So, like this, we're getting the idea of getting up and running, but I'm not going to bang my head against this again and again. In fact, a lot of times, this is something that was mentioned on some AI podcast where they're saying that programmers are so used to debugging. You get a problem, fix it. Get a problem, fix it. Get a problem, fix it. But with AI coding, oftentimes the solution is start again.
Right.
Because you haven't invested 3 weeks worth of time getting up to a thing, and that you have to like throw that all away if you start again. You invested 15 minutes. So just one shot at again and just start from the beginning, and it'll make you something completely different. So That's a lesson I had to learn. Don't bang your head against this thing. That's how the other day on the blueprint, where I was banging my head against the geolocation, and I said, "Is there a better way of doing this?" Like, yeah, you don't have to use geolocation at all. You can just use your iPhone and Shortcuts app. Excuse me? All right. Again, it's starting up a different thing. Why are you starting that up? Skip and continue. Let's just accept all, skip and continue. All right, you're not running. Let's see here. Waiting for application to start up. Oop. Let's try this again.
You can also just revert back to an earlier checkpoint near the beginning and start from there.
Yeah, but the earlier checkpoint's not even good. Okay, there we go. I just didn't run it. So I went to I started up on the server. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll pop the terminal out so that it actually opens up in my terminal here if I want to control it at all. I actually broke my rule. I said I wasn't going to do that for the stream because it's a little bit too programmy, which is completely against the idea of vibe coding. But I just didn't read it properly because I was too distracted. But the idea here that it set up this thing over here. Now, obviously, what you're seeing is that there's no chart, right? And so if I open up the console over here, which is just right-click, inspect, or you know what? I don't even know what the shortcut is. I've been pressing it my entire life. I can't even remember what it is. The shortcut is, hey, what's the shortcut? Yeah, Command Option I, and then head to the console. This will give me information that I can pass to the AI in order to help solve the problem. So over here, I'm expecting to see the Apple ticker on the one-day chart loaded over here, but there's nothing actually loaded. So I can go ahead and right-click over here, click on Copy Console, which will copy all the error messages or all the information down here, and I could say it's not working, and I could give it the error message, and I could take a screenshot of the whole page. I'll just use use a screenshot application, and paste it here. You'll see the image show up over here, and then I send that off, and then it'll try to figure out what it can do.
Hey, Tom, I had a problem the other day. I needed AI to solve it. I actually took my phone, I put on advanced voice mode with ChatGPT, and I showed it the computer. Because I kept trying to tell it, and giving it screenshots, you're not finding it, it's not finding it. And then I brought my phone to the computer screen, and it was like, oh, I see what's going on there. You see up there at the top left, and then it told me how to fix it with voice.
Just checking here, Peter. Are we streaming properly online? Okay, we're sorry.
Yeah,
the screen was frozen. I thought we were still on the starting.
Oh, I check that. I check that all the time. Don't worry about it.
All right, so I told it something was wrong. It said the error indicates that TradingView Lightweight Charts isn't being loaded correctly. Let's fix this by updating the library import and initialization code. All right. Oh, by the way, I told my stepson, hey, he's like, but I also want to learn the code. I go, no problem. When you're done and all that, tell it, comment the code so that a 10-year-old would be able to understand this in order to help me understand how all this works. And we did that, and it commented all the code. He's like, oh my God, that's amazing. So you can actually become a really good coder this way, I assume.
It remains to be seen.
I've completely abandoned manually coding, so.
Look, I'm not teaching my daughter to code. I'm not teaching her to drive. All right. All this stuff is done. Okay. I'm going to teach her how to plant seeds and how to dance, because that's the world we're going to.
I got to stop this terminal over here. Let's just run you again. Let's cancel you. Let's see what you look like now. Can't be did I go to the wrong URL? Let's see. Oh, there's an error. Run the server again. Sometimes if I accidentally cancel a task or whatever, I just say, hey, I did this by accident. Can you go ahead and redo what you were doing? Okay, well, it's loading on 8001 now. So
yeah, I found that it kept doing that. It kept changing the port.
Because if you have it running in another instance, a terminal, it can't create it on the same port. So you either have to tell it, kill all the instances and start again, or it'll increment and go to the next one. All right, we're still getting the problem. This is where you end up in those loop situations. Okay, failed server responded with a 500 error. Let's see here. Does it already know this? Yeah, 500 internal error. So I'm just going to say
You have
there
to do
was an
accept
error.
all. Don't you have to do accept all? There's some changes to.
Yes. Do I not have my key? Oh, it's about to expose my key. All right, that'll be the last thing before I jump to the next one, because I really don't want to spend all this time debugging this chart. Eventually, we'll get there. If we do this constantly, eventually we'll get to where it looks like. And it's super useful, guys, to go ahead and go to Dribble, 3Bs, dribble.com or behance.net or whatever, grab a dashboard, grab some example of a dashboard that you like, and toss that into here as an example so that it builds it that way. I could even give it a screenshot of TradingView and performance tester and trade. I say, this is what I want it to look like. Give it a series of images, and then it'll emulate that as best as it can. Here, I'm just trying to one-shot it.
What I was doing is that I was putting things in ChatGPT, like images or whatever, and I would say, give me a prompt for cursor that would produce the result I'm looking for, just so that all my ideation wasn't in cursor, that was more clean. Sometimes I just want to experiment with how I should say something, how I should phrase it. How would you phrase this for cursor? And it was very helpful that way. I don't know if that's the best way to do it or the meta, but sometimes if you feel like you need a helper to help you with cursor, well, you have other AIs that can help you do this too. I'm even going to be experimenting with using platforms like Cursor that are better built for front end, lovableBolt.new, and then do the front end there and then import that into Cursor for the logic.
All right, so here it actually did this. It's actually giving us volume at the same time, but it's showing the Apple chart in the back end, which is the same sort of chart we have here. Obviously, here we're at $208.15, but since it's not real time, we're getting the data from 15 minutes ago, 207.34. But just to show you that it is working, and you could talk to it more. You could say, I want more controls over the chart, remove the volume thing, make my make this drop down, show me all the different tickers that are available for my subscription, change the different time frames so I can have intraday, all kinds of different stuff. But let's not bang our head against the wall for that, just to show you that it's possible. Let's jump to one that I was using before. So let me just move my other instance over. Okay. So guys, I was doing essentially the same thing that we've been doing so far, just iterating again and again and again. So where we're at, let's go back down. Where are we? Okay, so on this chart, where I was at, so for example, in this, do I have it here in this drop down? So here, my chart is changing live based on the information I put in. This is the Apple chart. This is Qs. This is MSTR. It's actually pulling the data, right? And because it's Python, actually, I found it way faster than in JavaScript. Anyways, so let's go ahead on Qs. And right
we
now,
see error. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was saying error because there was no ticker in there. Q's not a ticker. Q's not a ticker.
I thought I saw it under MSTR, but okay, cool.
So over here, it's already generating some trade signals. There's only one trade over here because I'm only doing for a 1 year time frame. Can I actually change this to, the calendar's not appearing properly. So first, what I want to do is be able to see the trades on the chart. I'm not seeing the trade on the chart. April 2024, I should see the trade somewhere here. So let me tell it. I'm not seeing the invoke executor. I'm not seeing the trades that were executed on the chart. Could you please add them? We're gonna have to do this in 2 parts, Peter, or at least 2 parts. We're getting close to wrap-up time, which will be fun. We'll just continue next week because I really want to see, like, test the limits of it. How can we set up something pretty cool? How can we have different types of strategies? And how can we incorporate, most importantly, data from outside? Very excited about doing that. But you can imagine here, you could already see how this is going to happen. I can say, go ahead and find some service that queries YouTube or Twitter or some external data and say, hey, here's the link for some of this external data. I want to be able to execute a trade that happens whenever Jerome Powell says stagflation, or we have everything controlled. We're data dependent. I just want to make sure that a trade happens every single time. Well, then you can set up a system that then pays attention to the Federal Reserve YouTube channel and downloads the next video whenever it's new and transcribes that with Google Whisper and then uses that in order to generate a trade. And you don't have to code any of that. You can just ask the system to go ahead and figure out how to do that.
Whisper's OpenAI. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Oh, well, there's another one that's from Google. Google has its own transcription software, which I actually use for our TradersPost stuff. That's cheaper, fast, whatever. I just ask the AI what it wants to use, and it just uses what it needs to use. Okay, so let's see here. It says, please refresh your browser and see if it's visible. So let's see that. Okay, so we're seeing over here long MA, short MA, but I'm not seeing the trade here, which would have happened on September 16th, 2024. So 2024, September, July, August, September. I'm not seeing the trade. So it would have been right over here at this crossover. So I'm going to say, I took a picture. Very useful to have a shortcut for your taking a screenshot or whatever. I use this Clean Shot X. So I just press the middle button on my mouse. I got screenshots. I'm always sending it to AI. I'm seeing the moving averages on the chart, but not the trade. Signal.
And when you
before we leave, I'll actually see if we can incorporate some external data on the chart. Might be fun. Let's do that.
Famous last words.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, when you paste an image in that chat, you're going to see a notice that says image at the bottom. It took me a second to realize if my images were actually posting. But Tom, if you want to post an image in there, you'll see it appears there, image.
It appears here, and you can click on it to see it.
You can do more than one image as well.
Absolutely.
You can post links. If you post links, it'll do at that link. There's various things you can do.
I see the issue. I love when it says that. I see the issue. 75% of the time you see the issue. What's fun is that whatever this is the worst it's going to be.
You know, people say that, but I don't know. We've had versions of AI where it's great, and then it gets nerfed or messed up in some way, and then it doesn't work as well.
Yeah, but the competition now, like for Cursor, I mean, not only is there competition amongst the models being used, right? There's all kinds of models you can use in here, depending on what you want. All kinds of models. There's also competitors to Cursor. So there's always going to be something that's not nerfed because there's going to be a market for that. All right, let's update the dashboard to properly handle the trade data and display it on the chart. Let's see, buddy, if you can do it. Come on. And experimenting with this by hand yourself, going through the Python documentation, I promise you, didn't take 54 minutes to get to this point, however bad it is. It never took you 54 minutes to get to this point. Unless you were the coder guy from the core. Remember, he takes this guy's cell phone, he takes a chip bag, he goes in the chip bag, he goes, now you have free long distance calls for life from that phone forever. You're welcome.
Right. Deep cut.
What a scene. Great flick, Peter. Great flick. When it does a lot of things and I just ask it to do a small thing, sometimes I wonder what's happening here.
I'm telling you, you should use the ask mode. I know you don't want to listen to me, but
no, I wanted it to change it. I wanted to actually change it. I'm going to go ahead and accept all these changes, see what happens here.
That sounds like a good sound you're making.
This is not good. Let's see if we can revert this back, because that completely messed it up. Let's go back and revert. Ooh, this will be a nice test for the revert button. Restore checkpoint. Let's restore. Are you fixed? Fixed. And I'll show you. All I'm looking for is a marker on the chart that shows at the date of the trade and the price the position was taken at. And I'll do it Peter's way. I'll do the ask version. What needs to be done to do this? Want to thank all 40,000 of people, you people watching. Make sure you like and subscribe this channel. If you know of any other website that's doing vibe coding for TradingView, for PineScript, for Python, in order to put more money in your pocket, automated trades with TradersPost, I want to hear it because we're going to take them down. We want to be the #1 automated trading platform in the multiverse. And for that, we need you. So like, share, subscribe. We'll be here every Thursday, folks. Sorry, Peter, to do your job for you. I know it feels bad sometimes. It's still generating. When I see this generating thing at the bottom left, I mean, just let it cook. Let it cook.
It is fun. Look, I'll tell you.
Look at that. Try switching to agent mode. Yeah. You know what? You know what, Peter? I'm going to stop this guy. And we're going to go back and do this right. We go back to agent mode. And let's just let the agent do this. Okay? God. I swear.
You didn't use ask mode properly, but it's fine. You know, cursor, they put it there for a reason. They didn't put it there because it's useless, but it's fine.
Okay, first, ask mode was the default mode for cursor, and they slowly had to move to composer, realizing everyone was using composer. Okay?
You don't know.
So
you don't know.
Does what cursor's the Fed. They do what the market asks. All right? They just provide forward guidance. I love Jerome Powell and our economic overseas. I'm not sure if I ever said that. Just to make sure it's clear. Please invite me to whatever things are where people who've told the line are invited to. I'm not looking to be independent here, Peter. I want a house in Tennessee. That's what I want. Okay? Whatever gets me there.
Is there no capital gains tax in Tennessee?
Let's not go down that path, Peter. Tennessee has a lot of things that Montreal doesn't have, and that's why I'd be going. Would you like me to make adjustments to the visualizations or add any additional features? Okay, let's see if it actually does that. Accept all. Accept all. Let's see if it actually did it. I'm seeing errors here. Yeah, I'm seeing errors. So let me right-click, clear this terminal, grab the error again. Once I see the error, I'm going to go ahead and wait, what is this? Grab the error and, oh, it says it is working. Let's see. I'm still not seeing the freaking trade. Come on, trade. Show when you're supposed to. You're running. Okay, let's give it the console and see. Clear. Refresh. Copy. Console.
That console thing is a good thing to know.
Wait, did I drag you on top of there too? Why are you running? Let's just close you, terminate. Why are all these consoles running up here? Okay, let's do that. Let's just run the server. Let's just check it out one more time. And we're at 4 o'clock, so can't really push it much past this.
It'll be a cliffhanger.
It will.
There's nothing wrong with cliffhangers. Look, folks, all right? Sure, we could do a video where everything goes smoothly and nothing goes wrong, but then you'd be bored, all right? And what would you learn, all right? When you're sitting in front of your cursor and you're banging your head against the wall and it's not working like you saw in a video, what are you going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to come back to a video like this and say, how did Tom solve the problem? How did Tom troubleshoot? What did he click on? He clicked on console. He's copying that. He's clearing this. All right. Is everything he's doing correct? No. Is Tom the greatest person in the world? No. Do we
Um,
sometimes find him very annoying? Yes.
uh,
Would it be
uh,
better?
Look, what you're watching here is open mic. Okay, you go into open mic sessions, and sometimes you got to bomb. Oftentimes you got to bomb in order to be great. But you don't become Nate Bargatze by being amazing out of the gate. All right, let's one more time. If it doesn't work, let's see. Oh man, I hate stopping. So let's just try one last time.
It's funny. We have the same mental compulsion to keep
Copy.
going.
Have to.
I try to give it up, but I can't.
It
I mean,
hurts.
I could,
If it didn't
but I
hurt,
don't
I
want
would
to.
stop. If it didn't hurt inside, I would stop. Oh, the
I've
other
done
thing,
a
if we
whole lot.
pre-recorded this and everything worked great, and we just put it up as a premiere and you watched it, you wouldn't get the joy, the life, the feeling, the flavor of a person walking on a tightrope. It's like when I watch YouTube videos of people rock climbing, freehand rock climbing, I go, I know this doesn't end well because the video is up.
You mean it ends well?
I mean, it doesn't end interestingly.
Oh,
There's no
I see.
danger.
Yeah, I feel the
When
same
you go,
way
Tom
too.
Cruise did all his own stunts in the Mission Impossible. I go, well, then everything's fine. Because the Queen of the Damned Aaliyah situations hardly ever happen, okay? Usually when you see the video of a thing, everything is fine. But
Deep
here you
cut,
get that
folks.
live component. Plus you get the dulcet tones of both Tom and Peter Hartman. So
How many people know about Aaliyah and Queen of the Damned? What are you bringing up these references for?
sometimes you need deep cuts, Peter.
Okay,
Deep
well,
cuts.
there's deeper cuts is what you're doing. That's so
This is for
deep.
millennials. There's one guy out there who's just literally fell out of his chair. He can't believe I referred to Aaliyah, Queen of the Damned. I do it for him.
I think you're that guy, and there's nobody else out there.
Okay, Python 3, source main. Why am I doing source main? Why is it doing that? Okay. And now we're seeing none of the
Why
sound.
don't you just
that worked.
scrap it all and just start over?
Well, we're going to stop now. We're going to stop now anyway because I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to scrap it all and start it all over. Because now I'm doing it, I go, hey, I wanted to look a different way. I wanted to feel a different way. But fine. All right. So this is what byte coding is. It's little by little. It'll take some time. We'll get there. We're going to continue this next Thursday, unless I'm told by my overseers, Mike and John, to do something differently. But they never gave me any notes on the bathroom one, and I was like, I thought that would be iffy, but no, that turned out to be fine. So we'll see. Maybe they might like this. But this is what it is. It's what's going on. People on the Discord server always go through stuff like this. It's nice to see it out in the wild. And I'm a professional. I'm going to be doing between now and then. I'm going to be doing all kinds of different versions. Get you guys a nice, beautiful version up and running and working. We're going to be putting that up on GitHub afterwards, so you can take it and use it to your heart's content. But we're showing you the process here. We're showing you where the sausage is made. We're showing you where hurdles are that you might run into, which is part of what I like about all this. Peter, anything else you want to say before we let everyone go?
Yeah, I want to let everybody know about TradersPost. So give me a second. We'll do that.
Ask yourself this. Are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, yeah, it's time to upgrade. TradersPost lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, Trade8, Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, more strategies, prop firms, or sharing signals with your community, TradersPost handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at TradersPost.io. Trade smarter, automate your edge.
I should have done that before while you were like, just banging your head against the wall. I don't know why. I'm not producing. All right.
Well, that is a wrap, folks, for this Blueprint Thursday, April 24th. We'll be back next Thursday at 3 p.m. You want to be notified, hit the like, subscribe, and bell to be notified. Until then, we'll be back tomorrow for After Hours with Mike, which is a commentary show for markets. I'll get a handle of what's going on here with the tariffs and markets and Bitcoin going up 22% in a week and the whole thing. And we'll be back also on Tuesday for Office Hours, which is fantastic, where we go through not just the questions and feedback that people have about using TradersPost so that we can keep making the platform better and better, but general information about how to think about setting up a strategy, either manually or automated. We go through Reddit posts, we talk internally, and we spitball for things that we can do in the future. It's a very lively community here at TradersPost, and we're happy to have you be a part of it. Thank you very much, folks, and happy trading.